What's the difference between mindfulness and kindfulness? What does kindfulness even mean? And why is it important? That's what we're going to be exploring today in the Teach Mindfulness podcast. My name is Shamash. So I first came across the word kindfulness with a teacher I'd been following for a while, a few years ago, a Buddhist teacher called Ajahn Brahm. And he found that when people were doing mindfulness, they were not really putting a sense of warmth into it and bringing kind of enough compassion into the practice. And as he'd come from the Buddhist tradition, he knew that obviously there's lots of values that are an important part of mindfulness. It's not just about the meditation itself. But as he saw mindfulness becoming more and more popular, what about if you just changed the first letter from M to K, from mindfulness to kindfulness? Suddenly, the whole meaning of the word seems a bit more different, and you start to get an essence of what we're trying to share and teach. So I started to do that more and more. And I had a really profound experience once when I was doing one of his retreats, where the idea was not to try to control so much. Like if you wanted to sit more relaxed, you could. If you felt sleepy, you could sleep rather than trying to force yourself to meditate. And there was this whole sense of being more friendly and kind and understanding to yourself rather than trying to be too harsh and too disciplined and too controlling. And a really amazing thing happened when I started to stop controlling my mind, when I started to let the mind wander off when it wants to, when I allowed whatever feelings that wanted to be there, when I just lied down when I was feeling sleepy, rather than me getting more lazy and more tired and all the things I'd expected and my mind wandering more and more, the opposite happened. With less effort, my mind became more present. I became more fresh, become more re-energized. So this kindful approach is something I became a big fan of, and I created a whole course, like an 8-week course on kindfulness. I've made loads of videos on it, and I love to bring this kindful approach when I'm guiding meditations. So how do you practice kindfulness? How do you share kindfulness? Well, first of all, start really, really small. Encourage people to, do the one breath meditation. Take one deep breath in and out, and that could be your meditation for the day or for the week, whatever. Start really, really small and build it up from there. Go from being a control freak, where you're trying to control your thoughts or your feelings and your emotions and other people and life, to being a kindfulness freak, where you let go of control, you allow things to be a bit more floppy, uh, and rather than things going downhill, they start to go in a more helpful way. But the essence of kindfulness is to bring this sense of warm-heartedness, to treat yourself like you'd treat a good friend, and to take things a little bit more easy rather than trying to force things too much, and bringing the values of this warm-heartedness. And you can then integrate that kindfulness. So when you're teaching your students, even if you're teaching something as simple as mindfulness of breath, you can encourage them to bring the sense of warm-heartedness or kindness to their breathing. When they're doing mindful walking, you can make it kindful walking by, again, being very gentle with the way they step on the floor and they're having that light touch. When they're doing the body scan, they could bring a sense of affection to the different parts of their body as they scan the different parts of their body. And then you can do the metta meditations, the loving kindness type meditations, which goes hand in hand with kindfulness. So there's some tips and ideas for bringing kindfulness into your classes and for yourself. It starts with you as a mindful teacher. I hope you found that helpful. If you want to find out more, then check out our website. And in the next couple of days, we're starting a new community for mindful teachers, Teach Mindfulness Academy. It's mainly for the mindful teachers that we've trained. But if you've done a training and you're not part of a community and you're a new mindfulness teacher, or you want to start teaching it more, or you want to learn about authentic marketing, then do get in touch, and we may open it up for people who've done other trainings too. All right. Thanks a lot for listening, and see you next time.